Yeah. Girl talk in the spirit. Girl talk in the spirit. Yo, reporting from PHI. LLY, home of the cheesesteaks where we reside. Podcast distinct, others can equate. No longer in the building, we outside. Topics transparent that you can relate. Comfortable environment for their guests, what they create. Time to time, you gon' get a debate while doing it in love, no time for hate. Following God unity, and they align. You looking for a podcast? Well, here's your sign. It's called Girl Talk in the Spirit with Siobhan. She catered to our audience with a virtual line, so tune in with an open mind. Plus our co-hosts chime in, they gon' ride. Beautiful ladies, that's easy on the eyes. Can't forget the fellas, you know they stay fly. It's called Girl Talk. Girl Talk in the Spirit, Girl Talk. Girl Talk in this walk, Girl Talk. Girl talk in your mind, girl talk. And it's girl talk in your heart, girl talk. Girl talk in the spirit, girl talk. I said it's girl talk in this walk, girl talk. Girl talk in your mind, girl talk. And it's girl talk in your heart. Yeah.
Drop the mic.
All right.
Shout out Dev. That was right. Good evening, ladies.
Good evening.
I am so honored to have all of you ladies here this evening. It's about sisterhood tonight.
Yeah.
Especially what took place this past Tuesday.
Woo!
Right. Especially what took place this past Tuesday.
Woo.
Because we know as women, it don't matter what color, as women, all we do and what we're capable of. But we're going to leave that there. Mm-hmm. But hello, I am Siobhan, host of Girl Talking the Spirit. Welcome to Girl Talking the Spirit podcast. So, Enjoy, I miss you. Enjoy is not a stranger. Enjoy is the auntie of the show. Everybody was asking about you. Where Aunt Joy? Gadra's like, where's Aunt Joy at? Like,
right, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, so ladies, just one by one, I would like you to introduce yourself before we go into our topic. And we're just going to go around this way. Yes.
Oh, hi.
And drop your handle, like your Facebook name, Instagram.
Oh, well,
okay.
so my name is Johnette Smith, and my Facebook and Instagram name is crazy because I got hacked. And so they have it like...
They've been doing that to a lot of people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They gave me this name.
And they give you a name?
Yeah, I couldn't make up. They just made this up. I got frustrated, I believe, and I just kept it. So it's Johnette, then it's ITHGIBBONDS. Yeah.
We do not. So you had to try to pronounce that. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Johnette on Facebook.
That's
Johnette
on
Facebook.
Type the Johnette, and I guess, and when you see the I, you'll see my face. Yes,
that one. I got you. Next.
Hello, my name is Ira Warren. I am just excited. A little tired, but I'm excited to be here. So I'm just grateful that my husband pressed through with me this evening to be here on the show. But y'all can catch me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Ira Warren, just like that.
And Ira, what else do you do? Do you do other things?
Oh, I do.
Ira have a long resume.
A lot of things. I do a lot of things. I'm an actress, so
yes.
I'm in another movie that's coming out, and it's called Tony's Revenge.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
And then another movie that's coming out. It's called Dear Mama, and that's coming out in December. So actually, my husband plays the bailiff in that movie that's coming out. It's a small part, but it's a part.
It's a part. Nothing small.
Yeah,
nothing
so I'm
small.
an actress. Part. I'm a singer. I'm a mom of 10, a grandmother of 24. My husband and I, we write children books. I just got my PhD in Christian leadership and business in August 24th. So we traveled to Atlanta to get. I mean, God has just been opening doors left and right.
Women hold it down.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So I mean, He's just good all the way around.
All the way.
My husband and I, we do Christian counseling. Actually, we have a couple that we'll be counseling on tomorrow. And
beautiful.
The wedding is taking place 2025 in June. I'm excited for my friend and her husband to be. So we do that, and I officiate weddings. So I just came back from Texas 2 weeks ago and officiate a wedding there. And that's just been, I don't know what God is doing with that, sisters, but my husband said, don't forget, that was something that you prayed about when we first met. And so it's like we wrote a vision, we made it plain.
That's beautiful.
And so God is in his timing, things are coming into fruition. So I'm just very, very grateful for that. So I do a plethora of other things, but it's all God. So I can't even take credit for it. I'm just a vessel that's just willing to be used, you know, for his glory. He get the glory and I reap the benefits.
Amen.
I love
Amen.
it. I love it.
That's what I'm
Awesome.
talking about.
That's right. Johnette, you want to add anything? Your resume before we go to Enjoy. Come on.
Oh, I
We got your Facebook,
No, go ahead.
Johnette.
So, past, present, I was in the nursing field. I did home care, worked in a nursing home. I've been doing that for 20-something years. My youngest daughter is 25. So I've been doing it for like 24 years, working in nursing homes. And then it got to be too much in a nursing home, so I started coming out to homes a little bit better. Assistant livings, just taking care of the golden, I call them the golden girls and the golden guys.
That's beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Because I feel
Love
like
it.
I take care of them. When I get older, somebody take care of me.
That's
Of
right.
course.
So, you
That's
know, you
right.
got to show. You got to
Yeah.
show the kids, you know, how to take care of people very well. I took care of my grandma.
That's beautiful.
Until she passed away. We never put her in a home.
Mm.
She had 10 grandkids, and she had 4 kids. And I was the oldest granddaughter and the closest. So I refused to allow them to put her in a nursing home. So I said she'll come home, and I'll just do. Even though I lived in Jersey, I still drove back and forth to make sure my grandma was good.
Man, that's awesome.
That's beautiful.
Right.
Look at that. And we're caretakers.
Right.
Next, Enjoy.
Right. Hello. Hi, I'm Aunt Joy, Miss Joy. I'm everybody Joy.
Y'all know that's right.
I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a grandmother, I'm a survivor of cancer, I'm a survivor of molestation. I'm also an author. I wrote my first book in 2018. I wrote a poetry book. I'm also in school, so I'm going back next year to finish because I only got 90 credits. You know, I took a break, you know,
Yeah.
for my mental. You know, I lost my
Yeah.
mom in 2020, so I took a break, but I'm excited to go back, you know, and do the things that I'm supposed to do.
For you.
good.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
you're
yeah,
another
for me. Definitely for
caretaker.
me.
Yeah.
Definitely
Enjoy.
for
You
me.
got to do this for you to
Yeah.
see.
Definitely
Yeah.
for me.
But Enjoy just segued us right into our topic, survivors
Yeah.
of cancer, breast cancer,
Cervical cancer.
cervical cancer.
25 years.
Wow.
That's what I'm talking
So,
about. sis.
Breast cancer.
Johnette,
I guess I'm the young one of it all, huh?
I'm going to give you the honor because, first off, thank you for being transparent. Shout out to Jamie. Thank you for being transparent enough to put on Facebook that you want to share your story of what it's like surviving, overcoming breast cancer.
It was
that is
frustrating.
powerful.
It was a frustrating night. I kind of was going through it. It's a lot. You know, people try to. How can I put it? People don't understand what you go through. They think you're not the same person once you've had cancer. It's a whole different outlook on life. Some of us had good treatments and were able to continue on with their life. And then there's others who back to back is always something. It was something. So with me, in 2021, September 8th, 2021, my primary doctor called me and said she wanted me to go see a breast specialist because she saw clarification in my breast. At that time, I was a home caretaker for an older woman, and her daughter-in-law was a retired nurse. So I asked her, I said, what does it mean, clarification? They seen something, clarification in my breast. She said, oh, it could be just a little, I forgot what she said it could be. She said, but just go and get it checked out. So let me rewind. Maybe like in 2000, I had a breast reduction. So my left breast had a lot of scar tissue. So when I got mammograms, I would say, oh, that's the scar tissue that you feel. It's nothing. So in my head, I'm thinking that's what they were talking about. But I said, oh, y'all talking about the left breast, right? I said, that's the left breast. So I went to the specialist and she wanted me to get all these tests. So I went, they did like a biopsy. They drilled into my breast and I could see it on the screen. Looked like little old, dust from, and he said, yeah, he was talking to me, calm. You wouldn't have never known what was going on. And he said, I'm going to take a couple more samples extra. He said, just in case they can't get anything. So he took 12 samples out of my right breast. So 8 out of the 12 was cancerous. So the doctor called me back into the office and she had like a binder, like a binder in front of her. She called me back into the office and she showed me on the screen and she said, you have breast cancer. So I said, no, you're talking about the wrong breast. I said, you're talking about this one that has the scar tissue. I said, you're talking about the left one, right? She said, no, we're talking about the right one. So you would never think that you're going to have breast cancer.
Right.
We never talk about our family history, which is a big no-no. We have to discuss it. But being as though that I was close with my grandmother, my great-grandmother, I always knew that she had a missing boob. She had those old-fashioned breasts, and you would put I forgot, what do they call it that you put in to make your breast fill out?
Yeah, they would put like the little pads.
Right, the little pads in it because she had a mastectomy. She had one breast removed. So at this time, I was getting ready to go on a trip for my birthday. My birthday was September 13th. So I said, listen, I'm getting ready to go away for my birthday. I said, and I don't want to think about this right now. So I said, when I come back from my trip, me and my family will all sit down and we'll discuss it. So we went to Atlanta. We seen the Eagles. Fast forward, come back from the trip. Now I'm on the appointment. Now, mind you, I'm divorced. But me and my ex-husband, you would never think we're best of friends. It was a reason we got a divorce and he brought us back to be friends because he's actually my caretaker. He helps me out. So I came back to the doctor's, sat down. She had this blue binder. So she showed me had my family on speakerphone. She was showing me the screen. Like she said, this is the breast. She said, and you see all the white dots. She said, those are all cancer cells. And there was a lot of white dots in there. So I said, oh, wow. So I said, really? So I'm like, how do I, you thinking, how did I get this? Now, I had my nipples pierced. Don't ask me why. It was a sister thing. Me and the girl, we said we were going to do this. I looked it up. One of the side effects of knowing that you have breast cancer if your nipples leak. I did have a leakage in this breast, but I thought it was from me having the piercing. So I would take it, clean it or whatever, not knowing that was a sign of breast cancer. So came back to the doctor. So now we're making a plan. So she said, looking at this, she said, I recommend that you get a double mastectomy. So I said, you know what? All right, whatever. I don't need them no more. I ain't having no kids. I just get rid of them. I said, let's look at it positive. I'll get implants and I'll be perky. That's what I had to be the brighter side. I said, you got girls out here buying them. I'm getting them for free due to the big C.
Right.
So November 5th or November 6th is when I had my surgery. Went in. I had to pick my plastic surgeon also. She had the binder out. She said, I said, well, I don't know what plastic surgeon. She said, pick this one because he's hungry. He's young. He'll do good. She recommended him. So November 5th is when I had my surgery. We went in. So they removed both breasts. And the plastic surgeon had put in expanders. These expanders to expand your breasts to when you get your implants. And then every week I had to go and they would fill it up with water to, of course, one of them would leak and bust. So I had to get it removed. Wow. Yeah, they had to remove it and then they had to put another one in. the big thing I learned about going through this is you have to be an advocate of your own body because you can't let nobody tell you what to do, how you feel, or nothing because I've been through it. So after that, they send you home with these drains. All right, fine. Go in. You have to. They teach you how to do it, but then my plastic surgeon, I had to go in with. I call them my balls. So I would go in, and they would. I had to keep a log of how much drainage it was or whatever. So I did that. Fast forward, the expanders was killing me. So I end up with an infection. But when I tell you I've been through it, I end up with an infection. The infection disease doctor, they wanted to give me an MRI, but I couldn't because of the expanders. So I was in a hospital for a weekend, and they gave me meds through my IV, and then they sent me home where I had to do my own antibiotic through my port. Couldn't get a port like everybody else. I had to get a line because when they went to put the port in, he almost lost it in my skin. So he said he had to take it out, and I had to get a line. So here I am with a line. Had the infection. It got better. What else happened? So much has happened. After all of that, I start walking bent over. I had this pain in my body. Nobody, I'm back and forth with the doctors, the pain doctor. They trying all this medicine. I'm calling him. I said, none of this is working. It's not working. I don't know what's going on. And this is where I say you have to be an advocate for yourself. I went to a ortho urgent care, and they did a x-ray. They said I had spinonosis. My spine was curved. So, okay, so what am I supposed to do? You need to go see an orthopedic. So it was just too much. The pain was too much. I went and I found me a spine doctor, Dr. Atlas in Hainesport. He looked up everything. I told him what was going on. I said, listen, doc, it's been a real shit show. I said, I done seen all these doctors. They tried to put me on these meds. I done had all these x-rays. I said, I need you to fix me. So he looked at the old x-rays. He said, I see what's wrong with you. He said, I don't know why my colleagues didn't. He said, but go get this x-ray. Come back tomorrow. So he showed me on his phone. He said, he had to build my spine up. I had to get metal put in my back. He did hardware, and he did some, what do they call it when they use some of your skin to build
grafts.
A graft. So he did like a graft and hardware in my spine. So when he closed me up, it was back here. Doctors have to be politically correct. They can't say certain things. So when he closed me up, I have a lot of cush and a tush. So I was in the hospital for the weekend, came home. I start feeling a leakage back there. It opened. So now I have an infection. So he sent me to an infection disease doctor, and he was in Willingboro, and they had to do a wound vac.
Oh, yeah.
So I had to walk around with this wound vac, right? And on top of that, my dad passed away. So I'm at his memorial with this machine walking around because it was like I'm carrying around like it's my crossbody pocketbook because I had to have it, and I had to have a nurse come out once a week to do the dressing and everything, and that was crazy because when you have a nurse come out, you cannot go out, you can't do anything, you have to sit home. So I said to the nurse, I said, well, they didn't tell me that. I said, I'm 40-something years old. I can't go to Wawa and get me no coffee. She said, no, because then you wouldn't be considered having home care. I said, well, I'll discuss with them that. I said, because I can drive to the office. I don't have a problem with that. I said, but I'm not going to sit here because I don't know when you're going to call. I said, you can call me and tell me. oh, we went through it. But then she got in line real quick. She got in line real quick. So, it's just been a lot.
Wow.
I have a praying family.
Yes.
Along the ways, I lost friends that I wouldn't have never thought that I was there for. It hurt my heart, but now I'm numb to it.
Yeah.
And that's not good. I was there for her when she had thyroid cancer. Took her away for the weekend because that's deep, It was some shenanigans that was going on, and I took care of that. But that hurt me that she wasn't there for me when I'm going through breast cancer.
Ira, can you touch on that for me, sis? What you just said. I know it was a lot, but I already know Ira.
Wow. Well, me moving from Texas to Pennsylvania, it'll be 10 years in March. And God, a lot of times people, they'd be like, how come, you chose me for this, God? God chooses us for certain things because he know he could trust us with, whatever trial or tribulation that he put us through. And so God's whole intent of us losing people, places, and things so that we won't idolize, those things along the way,
Right.
because, God wants to get the glory every step of the way.
Right.
Because if he feels that, okay, the season is up with this friend, because you think, like, I was just sharing, with a couple of people at the job today. I met a young lady. We was really, really good friends. I was on her show, the whole nine. And she just crossed my mind a couple of days ago. And she sent me this long text message. I miss you. I miss you. And God was like, listen, it's okay, that she reached out. But God says you have to understand when the access is no longer granted, because God, he'll put you in a position where he'll isolate you. He'll isolate you because that's what he wants to do, because he wants your full focus and he wants your full attention. Because I was that mom, I was all in mom. My husband met some of my children, just all in. And God said, you made them gods. You made them guys. God said, yeah, I know you went through molestation. I know you went through having a child by your dad. I know you went through cancer. I know you went through a stroke. I know you went through your boyfriend duct taping you to a chair, cutting your face open, stabbing you, losing 3 children to domestic violence. God said, I know you was gang raped and had a stick shoved up in you. And I can say it like that now, because of all the things that I had gone through. But I had no idea that God was going to make me a Joe Bet in the situation to say, hey, you was considered for that. Because God said you have to lose in order to gain. God said everything is reversed with me, So God said whatever we go through in our bodies, my husband, he went through, they was trying to tell him, oh, you got liver, you may have liver cancer. We see some things, we see some this, you got to do this, you got to do that. And I was right there every step of the way. I need y'all to talk right. I need you to say it right. I hear what you're saying. My husband be like, baby. I say, no, I need y'all to talk right. So he went through biopsies and stuff. I went through biopsy with my cervix. They wanted to do a full-blown hysterectomy. I said, listen. I said, I get it. I said, I thank God for giving us doctors. I praise him for that.
Right.
I said, but what we not going to do is y'all not going to make no rash, quick decisions with my body, like you said. And I said, I get it. And I said, it's not that I was being rebellious or anything like that. I said, it's other alternatives out there. I said, I have sickle cell anemia. I said, I know what that was like. I suffered with it, my whole life, and they was like, well, we give you a hysterectomy, we can stop your period. And my husband was like, no, what else can y'all do? So they gave me the depot and all that. And then it was just like, they was concerned that they seen some more cells. And then I had to go through another biopsy with my cervix. That was the worst thing to me. And I bled for so many months because they was taking this and taking that and taking this. And then, I just began to...
How did you find out that you had cervical cancer? Like through a regular PET?
Yeah, I went through... this is after I had my twins.
Okay.
I had my children, my twins in 99. That was the last of the children. And so I went I went to get my pap.
99 when? What day? What month?
September.
Oh,
You and my granddaughter have the same birthday.
my daughter was born 7/4/99.
Wow, my twins was 9/22/99.
All right.
And so I went for the checkup, and the doctor, best doctor in the world, Dr. Robert, he said, yo, he said, I need you to come in, Ira. I need you to come in. I was just like, okay. So I get there, and he's showing me all this stuff, and I was like, oh, Doc, I don't understand none of that. Like, you know, break it down,
English,
ABC,
layman's
1, 2,
terms.
3 for me, because I don't understand that. And so he was just like, there is cancer, you know, cells in your cervix, you know, and I was just like, okay.
Did
So
you ask what caused it?
he was just saying, you know, just a buildup of this and abnormal this. It was so long ago. I couldn't even, you know, they were saying, you know, yeast infections, it's just a lot of different things. They were saying that was going on with, you know, my cervix. And then later on, I found out a lot of people don't believe this, but a lot of it was due to trauma that was going on in my body.
Come on,
So
Ira.
when I was gang raped while pregnant with my third son, and I had a whole stick shoved up in me. And so my baby, we actually talked about this week, my third oldest son. We actually talked about this. And he said, you know what, Mom? He said, you know, because of that trauma that happened while I was in your womb, he said, I'm having trouble with my vision. He said, you know, sometimes I still got a sign language to people. He said, Mom, I literally can't hear nothing out of this ear anymore, you know? And he said, Mom, you're right. He said, a lot of things that we go through or have gone through or been through, he said, it's because of trauma. And that's what the doctors were saying, you know, because I had STDs and all kinds of stuff after that, you know, after what happened to me, you know, because my dad gave my mom herpes, you know, and he was molesting all 5 of us, you know.
Wow.
So it was just a pile of things, you know, just happening. But the blessing in that, the church that I attended, my pastor, he was an amazing pastor. He had passed away shortly after. And they all went on a 21-day fast. Like nobody, I know water, nothing. They just went on 20 days. And we went to, I remember going to the church. I was with my ex-husband then. And we took all of our children. And they would literally just go in there for days and just lay out on my behalf. And so it was the mothers of the church. They would go to my doctor's appointments. Long story short, after 21 days, they went, and Dr. Robert, he said, okay, I'm going to go back in. We're going to do another biopsy. He took the biopsy, and he came back. To this day, I still got them papers. And he came back, he said, if you want, you could get a second opinion. He said, but there's nothing there. He said, you don't have to get a hysterectomy. We don't have to take your ovaries. We don't have to do none of that. And then when he said that, I stood on that promise. I should not die, but I should live and declare the works of the Lord. And I said, Lord, I said, you knew me before I was 4. I was just quoting scriptures over my body every single day. And I was just like, and I said, and it is so. I said, so in the future, I don't have to go through it. In the near future, it's already been spoken. That's a promise to me that I would never hear anything else about a cancer cell in my life. I said, that is uprooted in Jesus' name. Because every woman in my family had hysterectomies because of some stuff.
Wow.
And I got all my stuff, you know. Ain't taking nothing. Ain't taking nothing.
That's right.
And so I thank God for that, you know. So yeah, when you going through domestic violence, child molestation, gang rapes, and stuff like that, trauma will form itself
in your body
in such a way, you know, to say, hey, if she ignorant enough not to know that trauma is the cause of, you know, what's going on with her, then I'll keep you ignorant enough, you know, to think, okay, well, you know, it's genetics, it's this, it's that. Just like people told me it was genetics. I was 410 pounds. And people was like, well, you know, you just big bone. Now that's a lie. I ate myself to that because I got tired of being raped. I got tired of being abused, you know, so I ate my way to that. I was taking insulin shot in this leg and this leg. You know how when you see people that's, you know, heavy, overweight, and then they get, you know, those dark spots, that's fungus, you know, from eating, you know, all these greasy foods and stuff. My intake a day was over 6,000 calories.
No.
I would just go to Burger King and just sit there and eat one Whopper after another, one after another. Yeah.
Trauma.
Yeah, trauma.
We're going to get back to that, but the importance of self-care, getting annual checkups for us as women, how important is that to you? And Joy, I want you to go too, but I just want Jonette to answer that real quick, and then you, Ira, then Joy, and then you can share your story, Joy.
How important it is to get checked?
So I'll share with, for me, I already know this about me, like, I work way too much. I know that. I'm getting better. So things happen in my life, like with my kids or another family member, and I canceled doctor's appointments in the past. For myself, I did. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't.
Just a few years ago, I said, no, I can't do that to myself no more. Because if I'm not good, who's going to take care of me?
Yeah.
But so how important is your health, your body, and making sure you get these checkups as a woman? Even though you're the primary caretaker, you still got to take time out for you. Jonette?
Well, when I was, so I got married young. And so my ex-husband worked for Jefferson Hospital. So I good insurance. So I will always go to the doctor. I will always joke with him to this day. I was the one that used the insurance the most. Because, they send you those itemized bills and say, this is how much the insurance paid. I'll be like, look at that. I used look at this. And Kevin, you ain't do nothing. I used to always have to make him go to the doctor. I said, you have to get checked up. So, it's very important. That's why I say I'm an advocate of myself. I know when something is not right.
And you should go get it checked out.
And I go get it checked out.
Ira, how important?
Well, just recently, July 29th, I went in for my annual checkup. Like, me and my husband, we every quarter we in there getting checkups, and so she wanted to do a whole full blood workup on me and everything. And so I was, because Satan was trying to creep in and get that. I said, wait a minute, wait. First Timothy 1:7. God is not giving me a spirit of fear, but love, power. So I'm out to counsel that, because if I start thinking something, then it'll have itself come up. But long story short, they did a whole workout, just blood thing on me. They told me that my hemoglobin, as a sickle cell survivor, I say I'm a survivor. They said it would never go above a 7. So when she called me and she told me, she said, Ira, she said, your hemoglobin is almost a 11. Never been that in years, ever. The lowest my hemoglobin has ever been was a 1.7, and the doctors was like, "How are you still living?"
Wow.
They said, "How are you still living?" And so, like, going from 410 pounds to 165 now, I take my health very, very seriously.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I don't eat a lot of junk food. If I do, it's in moderation and stuff like that. But I'm a diehard with that water. I don't play with it. They tease me at the school. They be like, "You be carrying that big old jug around." I say, you know what? Y'all talking about me, but y'all in y'all 30s that could barely get up out of the chair.
Wow.
I said, but I'm moving.
Now let me some water.
So water is a big deal.
Yes,
It's a big deal.
We're gonna touch on nutrition in a minute. Aunt Joy, you ready to share your story?
I was sitting here amazed by their stories. I was like, oh, I don't want to talk.
No, you have to.
And then God said, no weapon formed against us shall prosper. And, I was sitting here and I was thinking about how when we go through stuff, it's not about us no more. Because at the end of the day, I had to learn it for myself. Like, I'm a survivor of breast cancer, survivor of molestation, and, also I'm a recovering addict, 33 years. And I remember, going through situations and not knowing that he was always there. He never left me, but I couldn't see at that time, because when the situations were happening, I just thought, God ain't here, but he was always there. Always. He just was waiting for me, and then when I started getting my life together, I started seeing the changes. So You know, in 2006, that was the last time I had a mammogram because, you know, I had other issues. I had a problem with my knee, had a problem with my back. 2007, I had to get my back scraped. In 2008, I had major back surgery. So when I was going through that, I didn't get the leakage. I didn't get the hurt pain. I remember feeling on my breast, and I thought it was just part of my breast. You know, I didn't know anything was going on because I didn't get none of the signs.
Yeah.
You know, so I remember going to Temple because I was like, it's time for me to get a mammogram. But I had, like, with the back surgery, I had major back surgery, so they had to move everything to the side to get to the back. So I got 2 discs in my, I had 2 discs removed, and I got 6 screws in my back. You know, so I was working on that, so never knew this situation was coming about. So when I finally went to Temple, I said, let me go to Temple and get a mammogram, and the tech told me what it was, even though they're not supposed to. She told me, but I seen it. So I knew she wasn't lying. I seen something. I seen something dark. So I said, something is not right. So I went home. I told my family. My mom said, well, how do you know? I said, Mom, I seen it. So she said, you need to get another opinion. So I said, well, let me switch because I was more close to Einstein. Went to Einstein, did the mammogram. But before, I mean, not the mammogram, went and met my surgeon, and shout out to my ex-surgeon. You know, she's not my surgeon no more, but she's still my baby. You know, I still keep in touch with my my back doctor. He's been my friend over 20 years. I'm the kind of person you have to talk to me. Don't talk at me.
Yeah.
If you want me to understand what you saying, then you need to understand what I'm saying. I like to ask questions.
As you
Ask
but
them.
I don't understand how it became a crime for you to advocate for yourself as a patient
That's right.
I do it
to
all
a
the
nurse
time.
practitioner, a nurse, or a doctor.
Yep, I do it all the time.
Well,
I
they be
ask
done with me
questions.
when I go to my medical appointment. My doctor ain't called me back yet.
Listen,
okay?
I make
you
a
already
point.
I
know.
know that's right.
You already
You gonna
know
ask
my-
them questions.
You know
I'm
my
at the point
personality. They
where
be
I
done with me.
text my doctor, listen, this is what's
That's
going on,
great.
blah, 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 blah. So when I met my surgeon, I told her, I said, you know, the tech told me what it was. And she said, okay, well, we're going to do a biopsy. So I said, okay. And when she did the biopsy, she called me like 2 days later. She said, it's cancer. She said, you all right? I said, no, but I'm going to be all right.
Yeah.
You know, so when I went home and I told my family, I told one of my friends, and I started smiling, she said, you smiling? But she called me, you know, something else. And I was like, yeah, you know, because I wasn't upset.
Right.
I was okay because I know God had it. So I was like, why me? He said, why not you? It's not about you. So when I went through it, you know, and they told me that, but I'm going to tell you, I was mad. I went through it. I was like, cancer? I don't smoke. What are they talking about?
Yeah.
They was like the weight, the high blood pressure, the diabetes. It played a factor because none of my family, nobody on my mom's side or my dad's side had it. You know, had breast cancer. So, you know, because I went through the history and I asked questions and, you know, so I was like, okay. So I was mad. I was talking to these 2 young ladies and I was crying. I was telling them, not knowing that these 2 young ladies worked in the cancer center.
Wow.
Walked in there, they was in there. My aunt went with me and the doctor said, you know, you had to do chemo and radiation. And I was like, I ain't doing none of this. And I was 46 when I got diagnosed. So when the nurse came over, Jim, my head goes out to him, thank him for being in my life. So he said, I'm going to take you in the back. And I'm looking at this man like, why does this man want to take me in the back? And then she came out, the doctor. She said, if you don't do it, it's going to come back and hit every spot. I looked at her, I looked at him, I looked at my aunt. My head said, wait a minute, I'm not 50 yet. I'm only 46. All I thought about is a 50th birthday party. I have kids. I have
I
people
got to
that
live.
love
Joy,
me.
I'm crying.
I
'cause
said,
I
I
enjoy
wanna
like
live.
the dance.
Yeah, I
That
said,
is
wait a
too
minute,
funny.
I want to live. So she said, I said, so what I have to do? So I had to do chemo for 5 months and radiation for 7 weeks. She said, the chemo takes your hair. She said, your hair going to come out. And I was like, oh my God, my hair going to come out. I said, oh my God, they going to talk about me. I'm going to have a big head. And they going to talk about my head. And then my head came and I had a peanut head. And I was like, wow. And then in the Irene song popped up, your hair is not you. And I'm like, wow. And then other people started coming to me saying, I'm going through this. What did you do? I didn't get high. You know, I did what I was supposed to do. 15 years. I just celebrated 15 years, August the 3rd. I lost my mom in 2020. And I knew I didn't want to use. I didn't know that I was an advocate to other people.
Yeah.
You know, when you go through stuff, you don't see that, but God shows it to you. You know, he shows you who you really are. You know, and I didn't even know, because at one point when they used to say my name, and I'd be like, why y'all keep, I don't feel like Joy. Until one day I started saying, you are a joy.
Yeah.
You don't even know that you a vision of hope to somebody else.
Yes.
And right now, my grandbaby is in the hospital. You know, she's on a machine right now, and she's breathing off of this machine. My husband had a liver transplant in 2013. He was in the hospital in April. I fell, and I didn't even know I had hurt myself because I was so focused on him. And I kept going out, kept dancing and everything. And I started feeling the pain and stuff in my legs. And I went to my back doctor, and I told him I got an ultrasound, and it showed that one of my bones shifted in my back. Then I had to get an MRI, and it showed that my disc, I had something going on with my disc,
Oh my goodness.
you know,
That's
and
me.
my
That's what
husband
just happened
has prostate cancer, and you know, he has to get a kidney, and you know, but God is good.
All the time.
And he's been keeping me through everything I go through. And sometimes I go in my room and I lock myself in there, but I talk to him, you know. And sometimes I tell people, I said, listen, he hear whatever you say. You know, if you mad, he hears you.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes my body start aching and stuff. And I'm like, all right, God, why? You know, I'm about to do something. And then it just calm down. He gives me that peace.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, he lets me know that I got you. You know what I'm saying? So when I look at the things that I've been through, I don't look at them as a evil thing.
That's
I
right.
look at them as a good thing.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, because we never know all the situations that we go through.
Yeah.
He said it in his word.
That's right.
He make us his special angels. And we don't even know we his special angels because we feeling like, oh my God, when I hear that word cancer, or when I hear that word I've been molested, or I hear this word, oh my God. No.
Yeah.
Because it's helping somebody else. Because there's so many people out there need to hear our story. And when they hear our story, they be like, wow.
Yeah.
And everybody that harmed me is gone, and I forgave them. I forgave everybody that harmed me because they don't have to answer to me no more. You know, so I'm happy today. I'm happy and
They say don't
and I'm
forgive them
joyous.
for them. You forgive them for yourself.
for yourself. Yeah,
That's
for
how you-
yourself.
Let me
So,
tell you, ladies, I am touched by all of your story. Like, I thank you guys for being a guest. Again, thank you so much for being transparent and putting that on social media. But, I mean, it's like, and for all you ladies to be in good spirits, right? Because you meet people who are going through things and they did get diagnosed with having some form of cancer, whether it's breast, cervical, you know what I mean, throat, people who never smoke and wonder why. What would you say to that person? And if each of you can just share that in the mic based on what you went through. And look, I want y'all to be real because like Joy said, at first she was fine, then she was pissed about it.
Yeah.
Like, so it can be hard to reach somebody who's pissed, but what would you say to that person? Anybody can go. Anybody can go.
Well, I'm gonna just tap in to Paul when he asked God to remove the thorn. We don't know what the thorn is. Your thorn could be the cancer. It could be depression. It could be a substance. It could be whatever. And I just remember one time I said, sometimes I feel like I'm Paul. I said, God, I asked you several times, could you remove such and such from my side? And God said, sometimes I allow the thorns to stay. And he said, and I'll give you grace and endurance and perseverance to go through the situation. He said, I may not ever remove it. He said, but I will give you my grace to go through it. And then I was just like, ugh. And I said, so God, you You're not gonna move. He said, I may not. He said, because one, it's gonna keep you humble. Two, you know, I don't want you to ever forget that it was me that did this, you know, for you, you know, because when Paul was asking for that to be removed, if you read in the book of Galatians chapter 1, you know, before he became Paul, he was on the road to Damascus, right?
Yes,
so if you read in the book of Galatians chapter 1, it says that his vision was not up to par, and he needed to read in bold print. That could have been his, and then it dawned on me. I said, could that have been Paul's thorn? You know, his sight not being the way that it was before he went on his road to Damascus. So all of us have a road to Damascus. All of us have a thorn in our side. We don't know. It probably wasn't a physical, like, okay, it's a thorn, but it could just be the things that God allow us to go through. Because a lot of times people is like, the devil this, the devil this, the devil this, the devil. I said, God allowed Job to go because God said, don't you kill Job. But you could do whatever you want. You could take his family, you could take his herdsmen, you could take all that. But God said, don't you kill him. And then God restored because of his faith. You know, so that's what I would say, you know.
That faith part.
That faith.
That faith.
Sometimes it's hard for people to be in faith.
Yeah.
We've all, I'm sure everyone who's sitting behind the mic
I'm one of them.
can say that it's hard to be in faith.
Yeah, because, you know, like with me, with, you know, with my husband's situation and watching this man work every day and then had to stop working because of what he was going through, seeing a change in him, you know, it kind of like, it would get to me. You know, I'm like, God, he worked all his life and he this and he that. And then all this is coming, you know, towards him all at the same time. But then at the same time, he's still giving him grace and mercy. Because he said his grace and mercy is sufficient. You know, so whatever he go through, he's not giving up. So that makes me not give up because I'm seeing my husband stay still, you know. And sometimes he tells us, he said, we got to stay still through the storm because we don't know what the storm going to be, you know. And I'm grateful to him for always looking out for me because, listen, I be in my room sometime by myself and I be like, all right, God, I don't know what you doing, but I'm going to trust you. Yeah. But it's so funny because God has a funny sense of humor. You know, he will put something in front of you and you be like, all right, okay, I see what you're doing. Because he gets me out of my depression. He gets me out of the mood. So I do things, you know, and everybody say, you doing that? I say, yeah, because I had to keep busy, you know, because listen, my heart is heavy right now.
Come on, Auntie.
Because I don't know. But I'm trusting. I'm trusting in what God got. You know, because I tell people, and I'm going to say this, treasure your marriage.
Yes, come on.
Treasure your marriage. If your husband going through something or your wife going through something, stay with them. Don't leave them because they sick. Don't leave them because they this. No, stay with them because you never know what God has in store. Like, I ain't going nowhere. I've been with my husband for 33 years. Wow. He drives me crazy. But that's my boo. You know, but I just...
The unknown, it is scary. And just not knowing what's going to be next. Because any of you, and I hope it's okay for me to ask you, and no one take offense to what I'm about to ask, but did anyone think, is it possible I may die?
Yeah.
Getting that diagnosis?
I definitely went through it because I mean, in all transparency, when my brother passed away of leukemia 30-something years ago,
how old was he?
He was 18.
Wow.
And I'm not gonna lie, I say I wish that was me because of all the stuff that I was going through. And my brother, before he took his last breath, and he said, nah, he said, sis, he said, God gonna use you to break a lot of generations. He said, he said, it's not going to be your time for a long time. He said, so I need you to break these curses in our family.
Jesus.
You know, that was the last words that my brother said to me before he passed. And he said, you can't. He said, you can't. He said, God showed me while I was sleeping in my bed last night before you came up here to visit me. He said, God said that you would be the one. And then I was just like, well, yeah. He said,
the
you would.
anointed one,
Yeah.
the chosen
Won't he
one,
do
the
it? Won't he
peculiar
do it?
people
Yeah.
set apart for
Yeah.
use.
Yep. Won't he,
He
do
told
it?
me that.
He
told me
he
that.
make the person that's about to leave show you who you really gonna be. You know, like when we be talking, I gotta chill. You're gonna stop doing that to me, girl. So like when Siobhan was saying what she was saying, like to hear that word, the first thing we think,
Is that
oh my God, I'm gonna die. But he says when you dwell on it, the depression comes. It comes back quicker because you're depressed and you're thinking about it. You know, and a lot of people think about it. Like my aunt and my brother-in-law, they both had lung cancer. And their thing, well, I'm going to die anyway, so I'm going to continue to smoke cigarettes. But the doctors told them if you can live if you stop smoking cigarettes.
Let me tell you
But they
how.
already had it in their head that this is what's going to do. Because you hear that word, oh my God, cancer.
Let me tell you how I was a young woman and I had to be 21. Not 21, working at the Red Cross, and I worked in the department all older people, and I loved that. You know what I mean? Older people, they had grandkids and all that. But there's one lady, her name was Miss Bear, sharp. She was so nice, beautiful silver gray hair, beautiful hair, dressed nice every day. She came to work one day and told us that she was diagnosed with cancer. She started planning her death. She planned her death. She said it's okay. This and she started planning her death. I thought that was the saddest thing.
Wow.
And eventually, Miss Vera died. We got the word one day she died. Literally, it happened that quick. So, like you said, when you dwell on it, it was like she told us. I want to say in the spring. She didn't even make it the fall. She died. She's like, yeah, they gave me 6 months or whatever they told her. And is that a thing? That they just give
It's some people.
Divine, is that a
Yeah.
thing? Divine over there asleep. Is that a thing? They just tell
Yeah.
you somebody that you got 6 months to live.
Yeah.
How do they?
Why,
Yeah.
like
And then sometimes, like
3 months, like
They say 6 months is something that they see.
but you know
Okay.
what?
Basing it on what they see, the evidence that's
That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. But my cousin,
so. It's like they
just-
did the scientific math on that.
sometimes
They do that sometime.
certain types of cancer.
Wow.
Like my little cousin just passed away from cancer, but she had uterus, she had lung, and she also had brain cancer. So hers took her real fast. A lot of times, you know, people with different cancers, they go quicker than the person that
Because they might have quit it at a
Yeah.
bad stage.
Yeah, because I had my cancer was 3.5 centimeters. It was aggressive.
Yeah, they
You
said
know?
that.
So
too.
if I wouldn't have went at the time that I went,
there you
I
go.
probably wouldn't be sitting here talking to you now.
go.
And I was grateful again that he let me go through what I went through the year before.
It prepared you for
He
it.
prepared me for
Let me tell you,
2009.
I met this young woman, and she was way younger than me. Beautiful soul. And I was just sharing how I'm in my gratitude era. You know what I'm telling you? So I'm sharing that with everybody. And she was just telling me how beautiful that was. However, she was saying that she tend to look at life that whenever you go through something, no matter how hard, how great, you were meant to go through it because you were ready to handle it. I'm like, oh my gosh, that
Exactly.
makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Just think about a time where you were like, I went through this, but if it would have happened a month ago,
Oh yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I would have survived it.
Yeah. Yeah. That is so
Right.
true.
Isn't that true?
I was sharing with the
So it
ladies in the,
prepared you for it.
Yeah.
yeah, I was sharing with the ladies in the cafeteria today, and her name is Michelle. Really, really sweet. She reminded me of Olive Oil because she's straight up and down. And she said, Ira, come here. So I walked over to her. I said, what's going on, Michelle? She said, Ira, you are just so pretty to me. And she said, what? She said, I could tell that you're not from here because sometimes you will say certain things and you got that little twang. Where you from? And I said, I'm from Texas. And she was like, wow. So I'm told I was from Texas. Long story short, I shared my story with her. And she was putting out the breakfast for the children. And the next thing we know, we turned around, we looking for Miss Michelle. Michelle done went on the side where they cooked the stuff in the stove, and she over there on her knees with her hands up. And she said, that's why I had to leave New Jersey. And she was just thanking God for my life. And, you know, she said she was beaten and stabbed and stuff by her husband. And she said she had never told nobody. And she said he had knocked out all my teeth. I said, baby, I don't have no teeth either. I said, and I showed her my mouth. And I said, I had all my teeth and stuff kicked out of my mouth with steel toe shoe boots and stuff like that. And she said, that's why. She said, it's the light in you. She said, it's the salt in you. And she said, I don't know what it was, but she said, the first day I ever saw you, she said, no homo. She said, but it was just something about you. And she said, now I know what it is. You know, and I sent her the documentary that I had did some years ago. And she watched it during her break, and she sent me a text, and she said, I love you, sis. And she said, thank you, because your story has healed me today. She said, I'm going home. She said, I'm throwing away this lithium. I'm throwing away dessert. She said, I'm throwing away all these depression pills because I don't want to do it no more.
Jesus.
You know, I was telling somebody yesterday.
That is powerful, Ira.
I was telling somebody yesterday I had shared, and I was telling them, I said, if I was back doing what I was doing, I would have never went to no doctor. I would have never knew anything. You know what I'm saying? And I'm grateful to him for allowing me to experience what I'm experiencing now. And then going through it back in the day, because I would have never went to no doctor. I wouldn't have did anything. So when he do things for us, we don't look at it as him punishing us.
No,
we're looking at
not
it
a
as him
punishment.
being like good to us.
Like now my child is ready. She'll be able to handle this. Like with Job. He knew during that time Job would be able to handle that.
Yeah.
Losing everything.
Yeah,
No, literally
everything.
everything.
And then you got friends,
Bad enough, you know,
wife saying curse
kids,
God and die, all
your
that.
wife,
Yes,
everything.
Yes.
And he gave it all back when he realized that he understood everything that was going on.
And then some. Ladies, we got a couple minutes, but any final points? This was a good conversation. Jana, any final points?
Glory to God.
Listen, and we know that seals the deal.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that seals the deal because at
Keep
the
your faith,
Trust
trust in God, and always be an
and
advocate
believe. Yep.
of yourself.
That's good.
Yep.
Though I told the doctors, I said my doctors want to tell you got to take this. I'm not doing that. They I had to get a cardiogram. They just like of my heart. She gonna call me 6 o'clock in the eve. She said, Miss Smith, I didn't want to call you. Well, why you call me?
Right. Why you got me?
She said, your heart is not, your heartbeat is low. She said, so I want you to start this new medication. I said, no. I said, it seems like every doctor, every time,
It's
y'all
a
wanna put me on
medication.
the medication.
Crazy.
I said, no. And I said, I don't want to have this conversation. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
So I have a girlfriend who's a nurse practitioner. She works in Indiana, and so I go back to my chart and I'm telling her everything. I said, girl, this lady just called me and told me my heart is beating low. I said, what's she talking about? And I looked in the chart. I said, well, it says 42. She said, yeah, that is low. I said, okay, so what I'm going to do? What can I eat to make it go faster? I don't, what nutrients. I don't buy fruits and vegetables that's seedless. Oh, it's a big deal with me.
Yeah.
I don't like
feel
that.
you on that.
I said, how can a fruit be seedless? How did it grow?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
So it's a lot. We can go on and on. We can have another
hear
podcast
you.
about that.
Listen.
Right. About the fruits and vegetables.
Nutrition, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
nutrition.
I just thank God for all His blessings and He get me
Yes.
through. I still do with some. I have some elements, but I say I wake up every day and I can tell my story, so I don't dwell on it.
That's
I
right.
love
And I
it.
got things going.
Ira, final
That's right.
points.
Listen, sis said it. To God be the glory.
All right.
God be
You
the
know,
glory.
the final points is we have to understand that, we're co-laborers with God. He's our manufacturer and we're the product. God put His stamp on us already.
Right,
So we just got to go out there and You know, like these Jehovah Witnesses, I ain't knocking them.
Yeah.
I'm knocking on the door of everybody's heart in these last days.
Yes.
And letting
Yes.
people know, you know, that, you know, and we've been hearing it for years. Jesus come back. He is. He is, but we just have to be ready.
He on
You
the
know,
way.
individually and collectively, we have to be ready. So all this stuff that's going on
The
in the
Trump,
world,
oh.
everything that's going on in the world, you know, right now, because people was just like, well, who'd you vote? Who'd you vote? I said, you know what? At the end of the day, it's about policy with me. It's about the statues with me. Because God, if you think of a statue that's been somewhere, like that Rocky statue, when you hit them
Yeah,
steps, I said it's solid. It's going to be there, and it's not going to change. And that's God. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever.
Amen.
According to Hebrews 13:8.
Right.
He is not going to change.
There you
You
go.
know what I'm saying? And so, and that's how we have to be. We have to give him all the glory and say, okay, let thy will be done on today. What would you have for me to do?
I love it. Enjoy.
She gonna stop playing. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. That's all we can say is thank you, because again, like, I'm just so grateful to God for have been in my life all my life and have showed me that no matter what I go through, I'ma always be here for you. You know, well, even as small as a mustard seed, he said, I got you. He said, we can act like we don't believe, but if you believe in me in a little bit, I got you. Like, listen, we gotta stay strong for each other. You gotta believe in, you know, that all this that's getting ready to change, go to him. Go to God for everything. You know, don't think that the world is doing it. Nope, God is doing it. We gotta
That's
trust
right.
in him.
He's
And we
doing
never
it.
trust and believe in him before. We need to trust and believe in him now.
Amen.
You know, because he's going to be the one that's going to take us through.
Love it. Thank you, ladies. This was a great discussion. And most importantly, thank you for being vulnerable and sharing your journey and your story. Thank you guys for tuning in to Girl Talking the Spirit podcast. Until the next episode.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Girl Talk in the Spirit. Girl Talk in the Spirit. Yo, reporting from PHI, LLY, home of the cheesesteaks where we reside. Podcast distinct, others can't equate. No longer in the building, we outside. Topics transparent that you can relate. Comfortable environment for their guests, what they create. Time to time, you gon' get a debate while doing it in love, no time for hate. Following God unity, and they align. You looking for a podcast? Well, here's your sign. It's called Girl Talk in the Spirit with Siobhan. She catered to our audience with a virtual line, so tune in with an open mind. Plus, our co-hosts chime in, they gon' ride. Beautiful ladies, that's easy on the eyes. Can't forget the fellas, you know they stay fly. It's called Girl Talk. Girl Talk in the Spirit, Girl Talk. Girl Talk in this walk, Girl Talk. Girl talk in your mind, girl talk. And it's girl talk in your heart, girl talk. Girl talk in the spirit, girl talk. I said it's girl talk in this walk, girl talk. Girl talk in your mind, girl talk. And it's girl talk in your heart. Yeah.